Please.
Chair Robertson.
Here.
Garrig Kunarovsky.
Here.
Shears.
Here.
Baxter. Here. Fountain. Absent. Malloy.
Here.
Miller. And Thompson.
Here.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any minutes to look at this week, so we'll move on to the next agenda item. If there's anybody with us this evening that wishes to address the Planning Commission on a topic that is not on our agenda tonight, then we would invite you to come forward, sign in, and address us. Okay, seeing no movement, we will move forward. We have a request for a minor adjustment to our agenda tonight. One of our applicants is delayed and will be here shortly. So in that period of time, if the Planning Commission is okay, we will move to an election that we have scheduled for tonight for chair and vice chair. Is there any objections to that? Okay, then
I will take it for the first part. Yes. We are first going to elect the chair, so I'll handle that part. And then whoever we nominate and elect, they will handle the vice chair. And through the meeting tonight, instead of changing anything, we'll just keep where you guys are and go for May to be the new chair and vice chair. So do I have any nominations for chair?
I would nominate Lori.
I'll second that.
All right. And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Congratulations, Lori. I'll let you handle the next part for nominations for vice chair.
Okay. Do we have any nominations for vice chair?
Don't everyone stand up at once.
I'll nominate Dawn Robertson.
Yep. I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
All righty, so we have you guys swapping. So and as of May, you'll just change seats there.
So next month you're in this chair.
Yes, and we'll just move forward this tonight in the way we're sitting.
Great.
Okay. Are we still?
I can go with the staff report if you'd like, or we can go start with Trey's, the portion for Trey to start, and then we'll just go through the
Okay.
staff report.
All right. So with that, then we will open public hearing, planning file PD-26-01. Turn it over to legal for some cool stuff.
Very cool stuff. Tonight's hearing will be pursuant to the quasi-judicial procedure set out in 197.797. At the start of the hearing, each commission member will be asked to disclose any ex parte contact, ex parte communications, conflict of interest, or bias. The applicable substantive criteria for this hearing will be addressed in the staff report. Testimony may be in oral or written form, but must be directed towards the criteria outlined in the staff report, the comprehensive plan, or the city's land use regulations. Any issue raised must be accompanied by statements and evidence sufficient enough to allow the commission and parties an opportunity to respond. Please note the failure to raise an issue, including a constitutional issue, by the close of the hearing will prevent any appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals.
Okay, thank you. And with that, then, I would ask, is there any ex parte contact, conflict of interest, or bias that needs to be disclosed? Kind of in the way of disclosure, the property that we're going to be discussing tonight, I have intimate knowledge of the property simply because long time ago when it was a sawmill, I hauled logs in there practically every day. So it has nothing to do with the decision making tonight, it's just a disclosure. Okay, if there's no other disclosures, then we'll turn it over to staff for a staff report.
Okay, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. The public hearing tonight is planning file PD 26-01, a plan development request for the Western University of Health Sciences Lebanon campus. This project has been in development for some time, and tonight's request is to allow a phased development of the campus. And I'll start with a brief overview of the site and the proposal. The subject property is approximately 110 acres located along East Milton Street and East Grant Street in a zone mixed use. The site is surrounded by existing residential uses with mixed-use development to the north and institutional uses to the south. The property was previously developed as a plywood mill and is currently vacant. Slide. There we go. The applicant is requesting approval for a phased university campus through a plan development framework. At full build-out, the campus is anticipated to include up to approximately 500 square feet of institutional and supporting uses. Went too far, sorry. Phase 1 includes approximately 177 square feet across 3 buildings, consisting of academy, administration, and support facilities. The plan development framework establishes a conceptual master plan for the site, including building layout, circulation, infrastructure, and open space, with development occurring over multiple phases. A traffic impact analysis was submitted as part of this applicant's materials. The analysis focuses on phase 1, which includes those 3 buildings. There'll be 2 access points as proposed, a primary access from East Grant Street via a new rail underpass, and a secondary access from East Milton Street, which is reestablishing a historic connection. The campus is expected to function primary as a commuter institute, drawing students and faculty from throughout Willamette Valley. And most trips are anticipated to route regionally via I-5, Highway 34, and US 20. Within Lebanon, the most direct route to the site from regional destinations is via Williams Street north of Grant. And this analysis estimates that approximately 85% of trips will use the primary access from East Grant, and the remaining trips will be using East Milton Street. There are no operational deficiencies identified for phase 1. As the campus develops, the surrounding transportation network will be evaluated with each phase to ensure continued functionality. The East Grant access, in particular, will require additional evaluation for future phases and may include improvements such as an alternative traffic control or a westbound turn lane. These improvements will be addressed with each phase of the development through the administrative review process to ensure that infrastructure and access remains adequate as the site builds out. Public water, sewer, and stormwater infrastructure are available in the vicinity of the site and will be extended as needed to serve each phase of development. Detailed engineering plans will be reviewed through the city's engineering process prior to construction. The site includes several environmental considerations. The property is subject to consent order with Oregon DEQ that requires remediation due to the past industrial uses. There are also jurisdictional wetlands on site, and any impacts will require permits from Oregon DSL and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Stormwater management is proposed through on-site facilities and green infrastructure techniques with detailed design review during the phasing. Overall, the application demonstrates that environmental constraints can be addressed throughout the regulatory process and with future development review. The plan development is intended to construct in phases over time. And under the Development Code, the Planning Commission must determine the appropriate level of review for future phases of the development. There are 3 options. Option 1 is a ministerial review conducted by the planning official without public notice. Option 2 is the admin review, also conducted by the planning official, but includes public notice and allows for a higher level of review to ensure that each phase demonstrates adequate infrastructure, access, and consistency with the approved plan. Option 3 is Planning Commission review, which requires each phase to be returned to Commission for a public hearing. Staff recommends option 2, the administrative review. This approach ensures that each phase is evaluated for consistency with the approved master plan while maintaining an efficient review process. For the record, the notice was issued on March 27th, and there was no written testimony received during the notice period. Staff has reviewed the application against the applicable approval criteria, and based on the information submitted and the analysis in the staff report, staff finds that the proposed plan development meets the requirement of the Lebanon Development Code, subject to the conditions of approval. Staff recommends that Planning Commission approves plan file PD 26-01 and adopts the draft order as presented. That concludes my staff report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for staff? So just a quick clarification. What we're being asked to address tonight is simply the concept, not the specifics.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All right, then with that, we will open our public testimony portion. Invite the applicant or the applicant's representative to come forward, identify themselves, and address the Planning Commission. Is your mic on?
Shows green. Oh. There we go. How's that? Good. Lyle Hutchins, project manager consultant for Western University of Health Sciences. And beside me is Kim Olson.
So that one's not on.
It is.
It's showing green.
Okay.
Is that better? No? How's that? Okay. On my left is Kim Olson, architect with Malum Architects and project executive for the campus framework plan that's been developed and this land use application. So Kim has just barely had a chance to catch her breath. Things were not going smoothly on the freeway from Portland here this afternoon. So with that, though, I'll turn it over to Kim.
All right, let's see. How's that? Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. Thank you. I apologize for my tardiness. There were a number of incidences on the road, but I'm very excited to be here and back in Lebanon. We've been working with you guys, with the city and with the university for a while. So I thought I would just share a little bit about the site and what we're doing and some of the amenities for the community within that. Oh, there we go. All right. So here you can see the site. Maybe many of you are familiar with it. It's along the San Em. And that area here in the center is a former lumber processing and storage site. So it's a beautiful wooded site, but with some of the history left over from prior industrial practice. Overall, our vision of the site is going to turn that into a campus for Western University of Health Sciences. And in that, we've paid a lot of attention to how we can work through the health of the site, repair the land, as we also work to make a wonderful home for Western University and amenities for the community as well. We have a wellness focus in several different ways, both looking at the health of the campus in a way that will support the students, but also thinking about the ecological health of the site, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, and the community health and how the campus can become a partner to the community as well. As I said, we've paid a lot of attention to the flora and the fauna and all the critters on the site, hoping to create an environment that they can feel at home at and come back to. So these are all images of animals and birds that are native to the site. So we're excited to create a home for them as well. One of the things we considered was how do we do that in a way that respects the history of the site? And so we did a fairly deep ecological study, and we've divided the site into sort of 3 zones. In the center is the oak savanna, which is one of the native ecological histories of the site. Along the river, we are looking at it as a floodplain river forest, really wanting to respect that river's edge and the trail work that's been put into the past there. And then also considering the woodland history, and that's really where you'll see a lot of our parking is at. So those sort of set up the framework for us. The earlier image I showed of the site had several buildings on it. This land use application is really for what we hope to be the first 3. Looking at the College of Osteopathic Medicine, as well as the Student Commons and the Facilities and Maintenance Building, which is up on the side here. So that's what we are seeking approval for within the next 10 years. We wanted to spend a little bit of time talking through the different types of circulation and the amenities those can provide. So you can see we're keeping most of the vehicular traffic really towards accessing the parking lot and any accessible needs. The campus is intended to be a pedestrian-oriented campus. As we move through, if I can get it changed there, we also considered bicycle paths. So one of the things we heard, we went out and did community engagement. We spent some time at the farmers market. One of the things that we heard was that the Old Mill Trail was really important to the community. And there was a desire for this development not to change that. And so that's part of how we ended up structuring the campus and wanting to make sure that amenity of the Old Mill Trail, that experience stayed true to what it is today. But we also have bicycle routes through campus as well. We also looked a lot at the pedestrian circulation. One of the wonderful things that you can do is just walk through a campus, and in the way that we're thinking about the landscape and the way that it's set up, we're hoping that it'll be a route and trail that people are going to want to come onto campus and participate in a park-like setting. And then we've just got a few images of how we hope that to feel. This is in the South Savannah, in the Commons area, and how we envision the parking. In lieu of a sea of parking, we're really hoping to create a woodland feel that will feel much more like the adjacent landscape. Might be my last image. Okay, that's where I've got it. You want that back?
Great, thank you. I would like to add just a little bit with respect to circulation and access. Grant Street with a new public street extension from Grant Street under the railroad with a new railroad undercrossing will be the primary entrance to the campus. This connectivity of the site is anticipated to be the first construction project related to development of the site. We presume the new facilities will be addressed to Grant Street. Published directions to the campus will be specific to the Grant Street access. The institutional support building, which Kim just showed as Building 12, will be located between Grant Street and the railroad. That is strategically located so that deliveries to the campus will be directed to that building first, and basically all of that type of traffic collected there, deliveries sorted, and then dispersed to the campus by other means. Construction traffic will certainly be directed to the Grant Street location and entrance to the property there so that we minimize ultimately any impact on Milton Street and the residential neighborhood that Milton Street serves. And with that, I think we would try to answer any questions that you may have and ask for your approval of this application.
So on your last comment, directing the traffic to the Grant Street entrance, how do you intend to do that?
Well, certainly for construction, we will have complete control of how that traffic enters and leaves the site, and that will be via Grant Street.
Okay, so Milton Street has been identified as not the best possibility. So do you have something in mind that would direct the average traffic away from that entrance to the Grant Street?
Well, I think generally in everything that we can publish and website information and whatnot, any traffic that we can direct and provide information to those people needing directions would be via Grant Street. Certainly, the students and faculty are going to learn the other routes ultimately. In the long term, Milton that connection is necessary for secondary fire and life safety access, but we will do everything we can to minimize the vehicle traffic, at least on Milton.
Okay. Other questions?
Did you say something with the trails and that around the campus? Is that going to be open to the public to use? You said like a park setting. Is that what I understood?
Generally speaking, yes. Now, have to understand that with the student population, we do have some security concerns. So there are things to be worked out with the security people for the university about how that works and whatnot. But in reality, yes, certainly the majority of the site, we do wish to have that open to the public to be able to enjoy.
Other questions? So I've got one more. Kind of the key word here tonight is conceptual. Do you have any timeline when conceptual may become reality?
I probably do not have a good answer for you. I think, as you can imagine, the financing for this significant development is pretty substantial, and those things are being worked on right now, certainly from a cash flow perspective, grants, and all other types of sources that might be available. Initially, we have applied to Connect Oregon for approximately $3.5 million grant to assist with the public street extension from Grant and the railroad undercrossing. We believe we have a great application turned in and a pretty good possibility of receiving that funding sometime before the end of the year, as we understand the decision would be made. So that would be the first project. We would expect that project to happen sometime starting in calendar year 2027 and then go forward from there. But basically the funding things will ultimately control how fast we can move with other aspects of the project.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then our next process then would be anybody wishing to testify in favor of the application. We would invite you to come forward, identify yourself. All right, seeing no movement, is there anybody who wishes to speak in opposition of the application? Okay, if you would come forward to the mic, identify yourself.
My name is John Dubkovich. I live on Park Road. I love it. I like the college idea.
Could you use the mic so everybody can hear you?
I'm in New York, so I speak loud. I speak better than he did. I couldn't hear you over there. No.
Want me to do it again?
Later. I like the idea. I'm concerned about Milton. All right. Now, they were talking about the animals. What about the two-legged animals? Okay, that live off Milton. What are you going to do for us? I want to know about the traffic going in and out.
Okay.
all right? Because you know, I know, it's not only going to be campus kids going back and forth, it's going to be everybody going down Milton. And then you're going to have the train coming, and it's going to be backed up in both directions, okay? So what's going to be done about that?
Okay,
So these are questions I'd like to have answered,
okay,
okay?
right. And we will give them that opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak in opposition of the application? All right, seeing no movement, then we would open up to the applicants to address the concerns if they so wish.
I think in reality, I probably do not have anything new to add other than what said previously, that we also are very concerned about the traffic on Milton and will make every effort to have all of the people coming to and from the campus understand the situation on Milton and use our main Grant Street entrance.
Okay. So as this becomes a reality, obviously this will come up again.
Yes, sure it is. And traffic is a concern with every new project that we have ever been involved with. And we appreciate the concerns considerably. And certainly Western administration understands the situation and does not want to negatively impact the traffic on Milton any more than absolutely possible.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, then, we will close the public testimony portion of our hearing. All further discussion will be amongst the planning commissioners and staff. So, planning commission, any concerns? Any questions?
So I want to clarify with the administrative review, if we see traffic on Milton, it is impacting the community and will require some street upgrades. Would that be taken care of through the administrative review, or would that need planning commission action? Or
So with their next phase, phase 2, we will assess what that triggers with another traffic impact analysis, identifying the 3 main intersections, once again, East Grant, Milton, and Williams. We also went further off-site and looked at Williams and Grant, the signal there. So all of those intersections will be studied each phase with the administrative review. And at that time, identify and condition if improvements are needed. There might be a turn lane required on East Grant at one point, so we'll know what phase. We don't know what phase yet until, because phase 2 could be 1 building, it could be 5 buildings. So with each phase, we'll identify if there's any issues.
You'll also look at the intersection of Williams and Milton
Yes.
with the train tracks that go across. Okay.
Yes, that was one of the 3 that we used, and then the one at Grant and Williams, the signal, and then the main entrance here. We can also go further off. We don't have to stay with just the 3. So if we see the signal at Highway 20 is being affected, we can add that as well to the traffic impact analysis.
All right, any other comments, questions?
I just wanted to make a comment that I appreciated how in-depth the packet was in the proposal, with them wanting to be respectful to our landscape and the history of Lebanon and the ecological health, I think is the wording that you used. And so I just appreciated that as a citizen, that it was really in-depth, so.
Yeah, it was a very complete packet, so
Yeah.
thank you for that. Any other comments? So we are being asked to do essentially 2 things tonight. The applicant is asking for approval of the plan development phase 1. That's part 1. Also, if you notice in your packet, we're being asked to choose one of 3 choices as far as moving forward. And if I may, let me review those 3 choices for future planning commission involvement or future approval, I should say. Option 1 was ministerial review by the planning official. Option 2 was administrative review by the planning official, and option 3 was review by the planning commission through a subsequent public hearing. So once this PD is approved, the question is, how do we proceed to the next ones after that? So let me kind of propose, if I may, a alternate thing. And to do that, let me take a step backwards for just a second. In my previous occupation, or actually current occupation, my responsibility was to review contracts, make sure that they complied with the law, and make sure that there wasn't any unintended consequences by what the contract said. So I called it the what ifs. So I always made sure that I addressed all of the what ifs to make sure that we didn't get into trouble later. And that's kind of how I like to approach these applications. When I was looking at this, the one what if that jumped out at me was the timeline, the potential timeline that we could be looking at. So the approval tonight of if it is approved, of a planned development is for a 10-year approval. Then if that 10-year expires, the applicant asks for an extension, which would be 5 years. So we're looking potentially, and I generally look at the worst case scenario, we could be 15 years down the road before the concept becomes a reality. The impact of that is we as a planning commission tonight are making a decision that may not be acted upon for 10 to 15 years. So what I would like to propose is that instead of either the administrative review or the review by the planning commission, that we identify a trigger when phase 2 is ready for approval that would perhaps the then sitting planning commission, which very potentially could not be any of us, and honestly, planning department may have a complete turnover. There's no way to know that. So the concern I have is that we may be making decisions tonight that a future planning staff and planning commission has no connection to. So could we then identify a trigger that when phase 2 is ready to come forward, that at the very least the planning commission is briefed and then let them make that decision that we're being asked to make tonight? Thoughts?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was one of the things that I highlighted was like, we're making a decision for the next 30 years. And so I was wondering if there was like a time, you said trigger, which I think that's a great.
I don't think it would be an unreasonable burden to just say, planning commission's going to approve the next phase. I don't see that to be unreasonable. So I'm trying to understand what's the difference between being briefed and having the opportunity, or just saying, hey, we're just going to have another hearing when the next phase comes in.
Because that's 10 years down the road, potentially, right?
Potentially.
Anyways.
Worst
so-
case scenario could be 15. So my concern is what's going to happen between now and that time
I can
in
give
the
you guys
future?
some helpful information on that. So option 2 was what I recommended, administrative review. I can elect as a planning official to have that go to planning commission or just in-house. So if it's one building, I can probably handle that just with the staff that we have. That's not overburdened for us. If it's 3 more buildings, I probably, based on the testimony we've had tonight, would say, let's bring that to planning commission for review. So option 2 does give you the best of both worlds, but if I'm not the planning official at the time, it would be their discretion. The applicant can request it to go to planning commission on option 2 as well. So if you want it to be strictly option 3, which is the planning commission looks over the whole application for every phase, then you would want to go with option 3. So those are the two. Both of them are public notice. An administrative review done at staff level is public notice. Everyone that received a notice is going to get another notice in the vicinity. It's going to go on our Facebook, on our website. So it is a high visible area. So I think as a planning official, I think it's best to have these types of meetings to be transparent. So that's the direction planning officials are going to be at the city as of now that I can speak to.
And I would also point out that any of those administrative decisions, because of the public notice, are also subject to appeal. So if there was a contentious issue that came up, this is, this phase has got a lot of, people interested in it, maybe some opposition. Anybody could file. Well, honestly, the planning director would most likely send that to the planning commission based on her discretion. But if in, maybe a different planning official didn't want to, anybody that is in that area that appears could appeal that to the full planning commission as well. And that would at least keep it from, there may be some very simple ones that maybe we don't need to have go in front of the planning commission. So I'm not arguing one way or the other. I'm just saying some of those concerns may be addressed within the framework of the administrative review process itself, just as some information.
And with all that being said, obviously, if significant changes are made to the PD, that comes back to the planning
Correct.
commission anyway.
Correct.
I guess my discomfort is we don't know when it's going to happen. So if I was a member, which I won't be, of the planning commission 10 years from now, then I would at least like to have the courtesy of being briefed on what's going on and what's happening. That's what we're here for.
I definitely will continue to do that with commission business on, even if it, on anything, that what's coming next. So as I'm in this role, that's my goal. So for sure that you have my word on that one, but for the previous or the next phases, we do need to decide which direction we want to go there.
So anyway, that's my, go ahead, Trey. Oh, I thought you were getting ready to talk. So anyway, that's my proposal, is that we kind of do a hybrid between 2 and 3 and kind of kick it down to the future planning commission.
Now I do have
Because
something
of
to
the
say.
uncertainty.
Do you have something written, or do you want me to try to write something real quick for the
No,
motion?
actually, it's open for discussion.
Okay, so if this goes, you don't have something to actual,
Well,
the
yeah,
language?
We would need to identify what that trigger is.
Okay. So maybe you guys can give some direction then, if this is the direction you're going, and I'll give my best shot, or you can as well, and we'll pick the best one of the motion to try to satisfy what you're trying to say.
Well, before we get too deep into the weeds here, let me poll the planning commission. Are you comfortable with any one of the 3, or would you rather go with the hybrid? Mike?
I'd like your hybrid idea.
Kristen?
I'm comfortable with option 2, but I'm open to suggestion on a hybrid.
Okay, Lori?
Same kind of, but I maybe prefer the hybrid.
Okay.
The same as Kristen. The option 2 is fine, but I would like to know what that hybrid, what that trigger would be.
Okay.
What you're thinking.
And I agree. I was fine with option 2, but I do agree with you, Dawn, that 10 years, 15 years is a long time. A lot can change. And so I would like to identify a trigger as well.
Okay, Virginia?
Based on the fact that there will be public notice with option 2 and appeals could be filed, I'm fine with option 2. I can live with a hybrid too, but I think option 2 is clean enough. So if they, do something minor that we don't need to get involved.
All right, so
We're not talking minor though, right? We're talking phase. So
Phase.
it'd be like any minor changes are already going to be automatically, right?
I guess,
Correct.
Phase.
yeah, I guess the trigger would be when the applicant came forward for a phase 2 approval.
Correct.
Can we set a timeline on it then as the trigger? Like if it extends beyond 3 to 5 years?
Yes, you could say at 3 to 5 years, it's automatic, goes back to planning commission or a staff level. You could go by square footage, buildings. 3 buildings is okay, 1 building, yes, is a simple. You could go by any infrastructure that's needed. For example, they might do all the infrastructure up front, but they don't have to. They could do it in the phases each building needs it. So there's lots of different mechanisms that you could do. For me, as a planning official, I'm going to look at the application and just make a determination if this is something that I need to bring forth to have a hearing. So 1 building, probably not. I know staff can handle that. 3, I'm probably going to bring it back to planning commission level.
Are you thinking, Trey?
Well, if people want to turn to page 12, where the actual order, I think, would need to be addressed. The bottom of page 12 under H, future review processes. Maybe we could work through a motion You move to approve as
I'm
amended.
having a hard time.
I'm sorry, I moved that over there so people couldn't hear me grumble. If we looked at the bottom of page 12, you have different options, right? You had the options of option 1, option 2, option 3. We just need to wordsmith an amended motion that would wordsmith one of those 3 options. I assume option 2.
Okay.
I think I have this in Word, so.
Administrative review by the planning official,
Doesn't that already say?
or are we talking about the motions?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that if we want to make a motion, I want to have the language clear that we're approving, I guess.
The modification?
Yeah.
Lori, did you find it?
It's actually on the bottom of your page 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's on the bottom of my page 12.
Oh,
But maybe page 4 of the order.
see, this already says
Am I getting the page number wrong over there?
shall be
I think
completed.
he's talking about the motions.
Right, but I think this was already a part of it.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Are you ready to draft something?
I was just wondering if maybe we were misunderstanding. Approves the planning file subject to the conditions contained,
Okay,
not limited. The plan
Yep.
shall be completed within 10 years.
okay,
It's extended.
okay. So do you want to make that motion?
For option
So
2.
before we make any motions, is there anything else that you're concerned about? Anything you want to bring up, anything that needs discussed?
It was very thorough.
Am I right on this?
Okay? Then
So
I
for
would entertain a
option 2.
motion.
Incorporated.
Approval, yeah. So that's not really a modification.
Right.
It'd be a modification.
I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So I think within here already is the statement that the planned development shall be completed within 10 years of the date of the approval unless extended in accordance with the Lebanon Development Code.
So that would,
Each phase of development shall be subject to administrative review, of which there are 3 phases proposed, right?
Yeah, at this time, yes.
So I'm okay then with
okay, go
Is
ahead.
that? Okay, so I move to approve the application adopting as presented, draft order as presented.
With the
Right.
following modification.
With the following, there's no,
Are you not making you're not making any modifications, you're just picking option 2?
I think so.
Yeah, so then it would just be number 1.
Okay, so not the hybrid.
Well, it's already in here, that's what I'm saying.
Well, we were
It doesn't
talking 5
address where
years
the
instead
planning
of
commission's
10.
involved.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said 10
So-
years.
No, that's only for the extension.
Okay.
So does everybody understand that?
That we're
That
looking
if it
at a
comes back to the
5-year.
planning commission, they're only addressing the extension at the 10-year period. Has nothing to do with the project, other than extending it.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
So am I understanding what we want to do is we want to say we are approving the plan development with administrative review until December 31st of 2030. Any development under this from 2030 to expiration needs to have a planning commission review. Is that kind of getting where you want to be?
If I understood what you're saying, if development happens before 2030, then it's administrative review.
Yes.
If it's after 2030, then it's, the planning commission is briefed and make the decision on approval. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Okay, discussion.
Okay. Shall be completed.
Do you want to put that in the form of a motion?
I'm trying to make sure I have the language there. So if we're doing 5 years, are we doing 5 years from today, 4/15/2031?
I'm not married to any timeline, so that works.
You can work on it too, and we can raise.
So you ultimately you would be saying you approve the plan development, and in 5 years, the administrative review goes to planning commission automatically.
Or at
The
least
next
be briefed.
phase, yeah.
Let them make that decision.
I let them decide if they want to hear the,
I can make the approval that way if you want.
Sorry.
I can make the approval that way if you want, or are we just amending her approval? Or her motion, I mean.
I think Trey is
No, go
writing up a
ahead.
motion.
Oh, you're writing up a new motion?
While they're doing that, I want to compliment you for being here tonight. Normally, this room is vacant. So we really, really appreciate your interest in this project. We're excited about it. I think most of Lebanon is excited about it. So we really, really appreciate you coming out, and we invite you back to the next one, whatever that may be. Actually, we know what that'll be,
it
don't we?
is May 20th, and on the agenda tentatively is a very large subdivision. So we could talk about
We've
the
got a
up and
very large
coming.
subdivision on the west side of town coming up, so you're welcome to be back.
And if you
next
like
month.
traffic, you should come for that one.
If you like traffic, especially on Highway 20.
You're not going to miss traffic plug. You're not going to miss that meeting, right?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you another time.
I want to read the history portion. I don't have time tonight. I'm really interested.
We just,
Find the link. I'll just email Shannon.
It's on the city's website.
Here's the admin review language, Trey.
I want the packet.
Here's the admin review.
Why don't we take a 5-minute recess while working this out? If you want to get up and stretch your legs or go use a
Thank you.
restroom, let's take a 5-minute recess.
We can say the.
So just to kind of let everybody know, the staff has had a brief discussion, as you may have witnessed, and we're somewhat uncomfortable with a hybrid. It would be our preference that you go with option 3 as opposed to a hybrid. However, there are some, option 2, I think, for the most part, gets you where you need to be. Because of the opportunity, one, we could always put in there that planning official will brief the commission at every significant or substantial step. And 2, the nature of the planning commission and their relationship with the planning commission pretty much means that if there's something like that, she's going to want the planning commission to be involved and refer it herself. Now, ultimately, you can do what you want to do. You're the planning commission. But at the same time, it's somewhat problematic, one, from, the actual nature of a plan development, to do a hybrid other than the choices that have already been presented to you. And I think Ron, in his esteemed wisdom,
I'm not sure how much of that we've got going
He was
on.
being so quiet over there to begin with, but
So you're looking at a plan development. The idea behind a plan development is it's a 10-year window, right? So they're doing their fundraising, they're going through these phases. You've got administrative reviews that happen. And again, you've got the appeal process that can happen. If we change that, then we're kind of going away from what a plan development really is. Basically, what you're saying is every new phase of this, we want to come to the planning commission. So that kind of defeats the purpose of a plan development, at least in my mind. So that becomes back to option 3, and that you do it that way, or you either stick with option 2, where you do the administrative review.
So then with option 2, we can put the caveat that there is, I guess, briefing with the planning commission. With
Oh, yeah,
major
absolutely.
modification.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from a staff perspective, if you think about the plan development up north, Millrace subdivision, right? So that's never came back to the planning commission, other than, I think there was maybe a couple of times where that's happened. Unless there's anything major that's changed up there, then you're basically taking this conceptual plan tonight and you're looking at that. Each one of these different phases is going to trigger a new traffic impact analysis. It's going to trigger reviewing the code. It's going to trigger utility analysis. All those things get triggered again. And that's not to say that we wouldn't say, hey, we probably need to jump this up to the planning commission. If they were going to build one new building, probably not. Probably not much impact. We're still going to go through all that process. If you're going to build 3 new buildings or you're going to combine phases, obviously that's something that would probably come before the planning commission. So that's just kind of the way I see the plan development. It gives you that 10-year window. That's why they opted for that, so that they can plan through that. Because you've said it tonight. You may not be the planning commission that's here. So there is some risk in that as an applicant if you're going to have to come back to the planning commission every time and you've already invested this much already, and there is that risk. So that's the reason behind the plan development.
So my only question with that is, once the plan development is approved, that's done, that's etched in stone. So from that point forward, it's simply the other phases. And that's where my hope was that whoever the planning commission is at that point has some input or at least some involvement of some sort, whether it's simply being briefed on it or whatever the case may be.
Which I definitely think you can put that into your motion. Where I would caution, I think Trey summed it up as well, is where we start talking about taking that from, down to 5 years. If we put a caveat, because that's not truly what our plan development is. There's a reason that these bigger developments are going with that. We don't do that many of them, but that is an option in our code, is to have that 10-year window with the conceptual design and knowing that each phase is going to have different aspects looked at it.
Okay.
But you can put that in there.
So, but you feel that option 2 pretty much does that anyway?
I do. I think from our, I can only speak to the staff that are there today. Our goal is to be as transparent as possible, and anything that's even of a little bit of controversy, we're going to bring before this body and hold a public hearing.
Okay.
That's just, and I think anybody else sitting in these seats would do the same thing. That's the whole idea behind that.
Okay. All right. So then as planning commission, if you want to just go with the options that you have, obviously option 2, let's bring it forward in a motion and either say yay or nay and make something happen.
I would feel comfortable making a motion with the option 2.
Okay. Do you have motions in front of you there?
Yeah.
Number
Go
1.
ahead and read it.
Okay. I move that the Planning Commission approve application PD-26-01 and adopt the draft order as presented by the staff with option number 2.
Okay.
I second.
All right. It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? We've had a lot of discussion here tonight, so does everybody understand exactly what we're voting on?
Yep.
All right. So then with that, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously, and thank you. And again, thank you, everybody, for being here. We've got a little bit more business that does not involve the application, so you're welcome to stay, or if you got something else to do, you're welcome to leave.
Oh, come on. They want to stay.
What was that? Oh, was that Will's?
It's not showing on his line. But she said 5-minute recess.
All right, so commission business.
Yes. Sorry.
So wait a minute.
Yeah, we can
All
just take a minute.
Yeah, let's pause for just a moment.
Thank you. Trey will handle the crowd. He's crowd control.
Okay, go ahead, Shanna.
Okay, so we did our commission business earlier. So next week we'll have the chair and vice chair. You guys will just switch. And then coming May 20th is our next Planning Commission, and we have the Concert Homes applicant. It's tentative. We have not deemed it complete yet, where our traffic impact analysis is not here yet. It should be here anytime. So it's not gone for notice or anything like that, but it is a planned development again with phases. I got to do 2 back-to-back. Lucky me.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Yes, major subdivision. Yes, 10 phases in that planned development.
Where's that one going?
Stoltz Hill, west of Stoltz Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we will. They are doing a neighborhood meeting. When in plan developments, they actually ask for you to do that. It's not requirement, and so Western University did it, and Concert Home is having one at the church near there. So staff does not participate in that. That's what they do.
And it's not recommended that we be there.
Yes, no, you should not be there.
That's the reason that we don't go to, so that we can remain in that
Neutral.
neutral.
But other than that, unless anyone has any questions or thoughts or anything, we do still need to get on board with some training. It's due for some, I think it's been 2 years. So I need to get with Trey on some training
I
ideas.
say you were looking at me and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, you're going to
We
write
got to
the whole
train you
manual.
up, Trey.
What's that?
You're going to write the whole manual
Okay.
from scratch.
So there was some confusion as far as packets this month.
Yes, so I mentioned that before. The packets are expensive to mail. This was over 350 pages. So my development tech emailed everyone. If you elected to away and you didn't like it this time, just let us know. We can print them and have them available for pickup. We can print just the staff report and the order. So and then you can look at the application, because the next one's going to be large again, online, or we can print it all for you as well. And you never received it? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm sorry about that. There was supposed to be a link. Okay. Oh, that's helpful. Okay.
So
I will make sure of that.
one of the emails had a link, but when you went into it, it was for staff only.
Okay. I will double check to make sure that we have that copied. Okay. Yeah, if that does happen, please email me immediately and I can try and rectify that. But you can also get on our website and there's an agenda packet. You can get it from there as well. But yes, correct. But yeah, please let me know that it didn't come through or take back to my development services tech. Yes.
Oh, and it seems to me like those agenda packets are available about Monday for the Wednesday meeting, or what date should, we start looking?
The Wednesday before, a week before, we have it noticed out. That's our requirement. Yes. You can kind of get a gauge on what's coming up. I have the pending agenda table that I sent out last time, so you can kind of see what's coming up. I will update that again and get that out to you to see. Right now, the only thing on the horizon is Concert Homes for next May's meeting.
Okay. Any developments, updates on stuff going on? Just to brief us.
Walgreens
I'm sick
is
of hearing
a
about Dairy
gas
Queen, too.
station with 3 retail. We've all heard it, but apparently the whole town has not paid attention to that. So yes, it is a gas. There's a gas station with canopies out front and a convenience store with 2 retails. We all talked about that.
Yes. Yeah, there's still the rumors about Dairy Queens going into the Walgreens, and you can't engage because if you do, it goes crazy.
Dairy Queen, the car wash is now going to be where the Dairy Queen was originally proposed.
Right.
So,
And they broke ground.
yes, correct. No, I think that was a rumor that Sherry's is not a dispensary. There's no planning application for it. I think that was a rumor from Sweet Home. The Sweet Home came down and started a rumor here in Lebanon, so.
So nobody is looking at the Sherry's building?
Sorry, what was that?
Nobody is looking at the Sherry's building right now?
We tentatively have an application to redevelop the site, but it's not public yet.
Okay.
And the Rite Aid?
No, we have no word on Rite Aid. Nothing.
Ron, you told me that they,
He's going to get thrown under the bus.
the Rite Aid building.
Turn your mic on, hon.
Oh,
Thanks.
Ron. The Rite Aid building, because I had said something about Rite Aid owns the building and Safeway owns the land. When I went into the county, it still is that way. You had mentioned something about they had rectified that.
Albertsons owns the whole thing.
Okay, so Albertsons bought the whole entire.
Yeah,
Albertsons owns Safeway.
yeah, they own
Yes,
Safeway.
correct.
So I'm not sure what happened between the building. They were two different tax,
Well, Safeway
Records?
had, yeah, because they
Made
had
two
did,
tax accounts, so Rite Aid paid the building tax and
Yeah.
the property tax was paid by Safeway,
Okay.
but it's owned by Safeway / Albertsons for everything.
okay. Because trying to get some information on that building has not been easy
what are you trying to find?
to purchase.
Okay, you should come talk to me.
Okay,
We can help you with that.
How's that?
okay,
Easy peasy.
yeah. Okay.
So a question about tonight's process. I forgot to ask the question, but at the very end of the applicant's packet was a title report, and it addressed several different parcels. My understanding, there was only one parcel in the application. Did they do a consolidation?
I'm not sure if there was multiple parcels previously, but it is one tax lot currently, and that might have been an old deed that they used, or a title report.
Yeah,
that-
I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I don't recall if there was multiple parcels previously.
Okay. So any feedback
Trey?
from the planning commission about the process tonight? Something you'd like to see different or something we should do better?
I like Shanna's new way of presenting to me. I just want to compliment you on your PowerPoint skills.
Oh, thank you.
Good. Anything else? All right, is there anything else to come before the planning commission? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.